Welcome to this week's story update. Today we're going to be speaking with Wanda. Before we do, let's take a look at her story.
My name is Wanda Martinez-Johncox. Born and raised in Puerto Rico. When I was little, 1993, 13 years old, I was watching Miss Universe. And we had this TV that was black and white, TV, very small, because we were kind of poor. And then about 9:30, when you had the last 10 finalists, Puerto Rico was still there. So it was really exciting. The Puerto Rico was there because I was never know that Miss Universe from Puerto Rico. She was pretty beautiful. And my sister, I told my sister to hold on to the antenna so I can watch the last 10 minutes to see who won. And Miss Universe from Puerto Rico, she won that year. And I wrote a letter to her saying that I wanted to celebrate and take her to the movie theater and just hold her hand. So when I wrote it down in a yellow paper, and I folded it on four, and I put it under my pillow. On Saturday, my mother, and it was like a cleaning day on Saturdays, and my mother did laundry. So I was outside playing, and my mother called me Wanda Martinez-Serrano. And so I knew that I was in trouble. And I came to the room before she called twice, and I saw the paper on the floor. She said that she didn't want to see something like this again, to be thinking about girls that way. I said, okay, but she told my grandmother. So my grandmother took me next day to the church, and she told me that why it was such a sin to think about that about girls. So I confessed, and then we went home. She said not to tell anybody. And then about 5 months later, I saw Jennifer Lopez on TV, and I was like, oh my God, she's beautiful. Who is she? And that's when my grandmother, somehow she heard me. After that happened, actually, my grandmother said after the high school that she made plan to send me to the United States. So I graduated from high school, and I was 18, was in 1997 actually, and my grandmother thought that it would be better if I come here and get some treatment, some mental treatment, so I can get fixed because of me liking women. And she said that I was going to hell, and people like that usually they get HIV. I never heard the word HIV at all. I don't know what she was talking about. I came here to Newark, New York, very close to Rochester, to live with my uncle. A little bit right after that, I was in mental hospital for 7 days. The doctor were not sure why I was there, and I didn't either because I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong. So after I got out from the mental health hospital, I tried to commit suicide twice. I tried to commit suicide because I didn't know how to fix myself. And I thought probably I would be gone. My family would be better without me because I would not be ashamed anymore. After the second time of the suicide attempt, it was a realization to me that God said to me, you know, it is not your time to go. I'm the only person who tell you when to go. And so it wasn't my time. That's when I realized that God had my back. So somebody from work told me that I need to take the class from the Gay Alliance. The Gay Alliance is the LGBT Resource Center from Rochester, New York. And when I got out from work, I saw in my windshield a paper folded with money because I didn't have the money to go to the class, and says, you should go to this class. And I went that night. It was a connection. It was like, oh my God, this is who I am. And I don't want to leave because I just want to keep talking about, you know, how these people feel. And this is the same way that I feel. And it's like not something sick. This is something normal. So now I live in Canandaigua, New York, in the Finger Lakes, married. We did our wedding in the church, of course, because I would not want it any other way. And I have two kids that I love very much, and I work for the federal government, so I'm a happy. I can express how happy I am with my life. And I want to make sure that people know and kids know that that if I did it, that they can do it too. They can have a great family, have awesome kids, and still be involved in the community.
Okay, Wanda, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Nathan?
I've been doing well. It's been, I think, over 5 years since we filmed that story. Um, it was great to watch it again. I have a lot of questions and thoughts. And the first question I have is: have you spoken to your family, like your parents or anyone else, about that experience since it all happened? Since being admitted to the mental hospital, and the conversations y'all had about you liking girls.
Actually, that's a great question. I did have this conversation 2 months ago with my mother, and it didn't went very well. But for me, it was something that I needed to do it for myself, to continue living my life and letting the past go, and not having the kind of nightmares and some of the stuff that I've been dealing with.
Wow. So that was just a couple months ago that you had that conversation, and did that end well for you personally? Like, did it help in letting go?
Um, yes, I was a little bit angry because my mother didn't want to hear about it. She's very supportive, but I think she's in denial of the process that me coming to the United States, it was her fault. So that process, she's in denial. She's very supportive now as myself as a lesbian and coming out. It's just the process from uh, me coming to United States, being in mental hospital and stuff like that. She's in denial that was her fault. So it was a little bit pretty hard conversation. A lot of things that I never said before to my mother. I never things that we never spoke about before. This is like over 20 years. So we didn't speak for a couple of days. We're speaking already, but it's something that I'm glad that she know my feelings and my thoughts. And even though she doesn't agree, at least that's out of my chest after 20 something years. So yes, for me is it was perfect.
Good. I'm glad that worked out well for you, and just getting all that off your, I'm sure it feels like you have a lot of weight off your shoulders just by even having that conversation with her. So in your story, you talked about, you had a crush on Miss Universe, Miss Puerto Rico, and then Jennifer Lopez. Do you still do you still follow J.Lo, and is she still your favorite?
J.Lo, I'm hoping that we will get married when me and my wife get divorced. I hope that will never happen. But in my dreams, she is still my number one. I do follow her Facebook and all the stuff that she's doing right now, even though she's in a great relationship. But I'm hoping in my little dream that she become a lesbian or something. So
Have
we
you
can
tried writing it on a piece of paper and folding it and putting it under your pillow?
Actually, I've had her in my office before, a picture of her. But no, I haven't writing. Actually, I did reach out to her the month before our wedding, and I invited her actually to our wedding. But I know that her birthday is the day before, but I wanted to do it to see what happened. So yes, it is pretty cool.
Maybe your wife sabotaged that. She's like, no J-Lo at our wedding. You're gonna leave me for J-Lo. And
Actually, she says that with J.Lo, she's pretty comfortable because it's been my first crush, so she's pretty comfortable. But she couldn't believe that I did send her an invitation for her wedding. So yes, it was pretty cool.
and y'all have two kids, is that right?
Correct. Yes, we have two
So
kids.
how's the family life been going during the pandemic and the shutdown, and How are y'all holding up?
Yeah, actually, for us, it's been pretty good. We are very careful, and we've been helping some of the people in the community, people especially older who need help because they cannot get out and stuff like that. So we've been pretty good just because mentally we try to be prepared since this started. And thankful because of Zoom, I'll be able to stay in contact with my sister from France and my sister in Puerto Rico and family and stuff like that. So we've been pretty good and healthy. We've been changing some stuff around the house, like workout in the house and doing some different, a lot of vacations been canceled, but we are healthy, so we've been doing pretty good. Yeah,
Good. I'm
very
glad
good.
to hear that. Good. So in your story, you went through all those experiences of, being put in the mental hospital, and even though there was nothing wrong with you, what would you, if someone's watching this who might feel that there is something wrong with them, what words would you have, would you share with them?
Actually, for the longest time, I thought there was something wrong with me. That's correct. And when you believe in yourself, because a lot of people will not be there for you, especially family. If you stick with that person that believes in yourself, or even yourself, I mean, for myself was, of course, God. I don't think there's nothing wrong with us. I really believe that we are here in the planet for a reason. For me, is to help other people and help the other LGBT in the community who've been through the same process of something similar that I went through. I believe that everybody's here for a reason, and there's nothing wrong with this human species that we are here. I believe that we can reach out to a community, and that's one of the reasons the Gay Alliance was. That's one of the reasons that I went there to get to know a little bit who I was, and just reach out to the community, reach out to somebody who can believe in you. One person can change, can really use self-esteem, help you out. But I really believe that things happen for a reason. And I read a quote yesterday when I went to a museum from Sadie Fisher, and she says to believe who you are and don't change anything. Something similar like that, but don't change anything about you. Just believe who you are and be authentic. And I think that's really powerful. It was really great to see that, because in that moment I was with my daughter, and I wanted to see something like that, to believe in herself, be authentic, don't do it to be somebody who she's not. And I think sometimes when people believe that there's something wrong with them, it's because of the self-esteem, low self-esteem, because of the parents or whatever the people have been talking to them about negativity. I think when you be around more positive people, and that's happened to me being involved in the community, helping people, it changed my life. So just stick with the positive, help people around you, because that will help helping yourself too. So I think that's the best therapy for myself.
To basically know that there's nothing wrong with you, and to surround yourself with people who are supportive and positive, and create that support system. Absolutely. Yeah. That's great advice. Wanda, anything else you want to share with anyone about your life or what's going on, or any exciting news?
It's really exciting. I know 2020 is being pretty negative with a lot of people, but for myself, 2020 was the day that I realized that I need to reach out to my mother and, have that tough conversation once again after 23 years. So I think that was it was a great thing to do it for 2020, but staying healthy, mentally healthy. So that was for me a plus. And our life is being blessed and great. We have a financial business, and we're still helping people in disaster relief. So I'm very blessed and very very happy for the stuff that we have. Like I said, having that conversation with my mom, it was in my back, like a little, heavy backpack that was every night not letting me sleep. But finally, now I'm happy. I'll be able to see her in the holidays, and that for me is a great thing because I don't have that chip in my shoulder any longer. So I'll be able to let things go more easily. So yes.
I'm so glad for you. Like, yeah, as you said, 2020 has been rough. So I'm glad that you found a way to find something personally rewarding for yourself. So I'm sure that's a great feeling. So, well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and to let us catch up with you. It sounds like things are going really well for you. And I wish you and the family all the best and, you know, the upcoming holidays. So if anyone has any questions for Wanda, just leave them in the comments, and Wanda, maybe you can check back periodically to respond to some of the questions. And we'll see y'all next week for next week's story update. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.